White Bill of Georgia peaches are absolutely delicious as a condiment.
Martha Stewart, admired for her spontaneity and sought after for her imaginative presentations wherever people gather to entertain and have a good time.
We're going to roast this turkey. In all the years that I've been
in the next hour, Martha Stewart will put together a festive holiday feast filled with an abundance of creative ideas for everyone who likes to surround themselves with family and friends during the holiday season.
We'll certainly. And save those ground cranberries to put over your vanilla ice cream.
Stay with us for Holiday Entertaining with Martha Stewart. Holiday Entertaining with Martha Stewart is made possible by grants from Pepperidge Farm, makers of distinctive crackers, Pepperidge Farm stuffing, and puff pastry, all part of America's holiday tradition. And by Swift Eckrich, serving a variety of meat products, including Butterball turkey. For over 30 years, America's largest selling brand of turkey has been Butterball. And by Sterling Vineyards, makers of distinctive Napa Valley wines served the world over.
You know, when it comes to entertaining our friends, we sometimes get so involved in the details of the event that we feel like we're on the sidelines looking in, observing others having a good time. When the pressures of the holiday season get me down, I try to reflect on those wonderful childhood memories of families and friends and try to come up with new ideas to make these moments more special and more memorable. Entertaining is taking something of yourself and sharing it with others. And so, while we have these moments together, I'd like to share with you all those things that I've learned to help make your holiday one that you will remember for years to come.
And now, Holiday Entertaining with Martha Stewart.
Herbs are wonderful, not only as garnish and as flavoring for your foods, but also as centerpieces for your holiday tables. I like to pick them in the summertime when they're plump and full and dry them on racks for autumn centerpieces later on. This basket, by the way, is a great invention in the garden. All you do is poke this long stand right down into the ground and your basket just stands there. This is Santolina, a very strongly scented herb. It's used primarily for medicinal purposes, but look how green and fluffy it is. It looks beautiful as the basis for a centerpiece. That's a nice big bunch. And then over here, oh, I love this clary sage. It's big-leaved, and it too has a lovely, lovely scent. Do you see how pretty? And the common sage. I call it a common sage. It's really kind of a gray sage. And this, too, will be more delicate in the centerpiece. Don't think that you have to grow all these things yourselves. Many markets now sell herbs in great big bunches, and you can just create centerpieces from the grocery store. But if you have a sunny windowsill during the winter, buy yourself a few pots of fresh herbs and grow them all winter long for cutting, for flavoring, and for centerpieces. I think we have plenty of herbs for a great big bowl. The first thing that I think about when planning a party is how many people I'm going to have and where I'm going to put them. This party is going to be for 23 guests, so I have to find a place where we can seat everybody. This is our old 1805 farmhouse kitchen. It's called that because Captain Thorpe built it in 1805. He was an onion farmer and barge owner. The ceiling is hung with our collection of old and antique baskets, an accumulation of years and years. If those baskets weren't on the ceiling, they would certainly be on the table with one or two or some of our cats in them. Everybody loves this room because it's warm and cozy and a delightful place to sit around this table in front of the hearth, just talking or eating or watching what's going on. On the mantelpiece is part of our collection of old tin and copper molds. These turkeys were given to us years ago by friends who knew that we lived on Turkey Hill Road and had a penchant for turkeys. We'll certainly use them on our tables for decoration of the holiday dinner. This little funny melon mold was given to me with an old recipe for plum pudding, and I use it every Christmas with great success. And this pumpkin mold, an unusual mold, we bake a little Genoise cake in it for the children at Halloween time. I'm a firm believer in displaying one's collections and one's accumulations of things, and I don't like putting them in the cupboard to gather dust. It's much more fun to have them out so everybody can enjoy them. Out here's our porch, another nice room, a place where we gather on Sundays and on Saturdays for brunch or for lunch, with a view of the pool and the perennial border and the woods beyond. It certainly is a nice spot just to sit and talk, but I think it's a little bit small for our holiday dinner. But we do have another room, the dining room. This is the back hall to our farmhouse, but it's the place where everybody enters, and I try to make it cheerful and hospitable by putting flower arrangements in as many different places as possible. This back hall table has a flower arrangement made out of autumnal twigs and leaves, and one great peach-colored amaryllis to pick up this peach-colored peony in the Japanese container. When Andy and I bought this house 13 years ago, it was a total wreck. This whole floor was covered with oak planks. When we ripped those up, it revealed this lovely pumpkin-colored pine floor. We stenciled it in a diamond pattern. In the 19th century, this was known as the poor man's rug. Over here's our dining room. It's by far the most formal room in the house, and a room that I really love. The chandelier came from Andy's grandmother's apartment in New York City. It's been handed down from generation to generation, and I really feel privileged to have it here in the house. Tonight I'm having a dinner party for 8, and I've set the table in advance so that at 8 o'clock I won't have to worry about anything but my friends and the food. The table is what I call mix and match, an eclectic assortment of all different kinds of things. This amethyst-stemmed sauterne glass picks up this lovely amethyst wine goblet. And this, in turn, picks up the colors in the centerpieces. These are all different colors of orchids. Even the bread and butter plate has some of those same colors in it. I really like this room, but I'm nervous about using it for that party for 23 adults and children. It's a little bit too delicate, but I think I have the right place in mind, and it's not in the house. This is an old tobacco barn that was reconstructed right here on our property by my husband Andy about 5 years ago. And I think it will be the perfect spot for this particular party. I can just imagine that mantelpiece decorated with pumpkins and squashes and gourds and great big corn stalks in the corners of the room. Oh, and this Stamford stove, it's a wonderful cast iron range. We can cook at least one of the turkeys in that oven. And it'll also keep the room nice and warm. And the children's table can be put right here. Perfect spot. The kids have lots of room to run around, and they can create as much havoc as they want. This 19th century tailor's table will be absolutely perfect for the adults' banquet. I think I can get about 14 people around this table. The art of entertaining means being creative. Not all of us have such a large space at our home, but we do have a garage, a basement, a family room, or a living room that can be emptied out and redecorated for the occasion. Something can be done to make that particular space very, very festive. The turkey will play a big part in our holiday feast, and there's lots of other ideas that will make this meal a very exciting one. During the program, we'll prepare a favorite recipe of my family, Plum Anna, and we'll present a surprise at the table, a golden brown puff pastry wrapped turkey. And from the harvest garden, we'll make a root vegetable salad and prepare Brussels sprouts in a new and different way. And for those of you with a sweet tooth, we'll make a sweet potato pie and a traditional pumpkin pie, and another surprise, a Concord grape pie. Oh, and let's not forget the smoked pheasant. And there's nothing better with that smoked pheasant than a homemade Italian plum chutney. This is the syrup for the Italian plum chutney. The recipe comes from my friend Claire McCulley in Boston. Her family makes lots of this every year on Labor Day, when the Italian prune plums are in season. The syrup's made out of white sugar, brown sugar, and cider vinegar. Cook it until all the sugar's dissolved, and then add the other ingredients. Golden raisins and crystallized ginger that's cut in strips. Some sliced onions and sliced garlic. Some salt. Red hot pepper flakes. And golden mustard seeds. Add the Italian prune plums, which have been seeded and cut into quarters. This mixture has to cook for 50 minutes. And I make it in small batches in these heavy-bottomed pans. This is a Japanese wok made out of copper and tin. It's a great heavy pan for jam making and condiment making. Here's a batch that's already done after simmering for 50 minutes. Spoon the hot chutney into hot, sterilized canning jars. Make sure the seal is really clean and clamp the lid on tightly. You can can just about anything, like little white pearl onions with red-hot pepper and tarragon, or pickled watermelon rind, or whole peaches with cloves and cinnamon sticks and white wine syrup. A gift like this plum chutney is one that your friends will really cherish. One of the things I like to make the most at holiday time is the stuffing. Each year I try to create a new stuffing, a new flavor. And this year I think I'll make an herb stuffing, very savory. I'm going to saute the onions in a stick of butter until they're transparent. That takes about 10 minutes. Add the celery, finely chopped, and don't forget to put the tops in. They give a great flavor. Stir it together and cook this for about 5 minutes. The apples, and I like to use an autumn apple like a Granny Smith or a Cortland or a Gravenstein, can be put in another pan and saute it just for a few seconds, just to warm the apples. I use a stick of butter in this pan too. While they're sauteing, get the bread ready. And this is an herb seasoned stuffing, one of my favorites. And onto this, I'll add some white cube bread. That'll probably do for about a 24-pound turkey. Mix that together and add your sauteed ingredients. Oh boy, does this look good. It smells delicious. And the apples mounded up. Oh boy, the apples are still crunchy. That's what you want. You want that crunchiness. And to make it very, very different, I'm going to add some of these porcini mushrooms that have been soaked in cognac and warm water. And sausage balls. These little patties were made from homemade sausage, very highly seasoned, so they're kind of a surprise in the stuffing. And the seasonings, very important, the herbs, the parsley, and freshly chopped sage. Spices, salt, pepper, mace, one of my favorite flavorings for an herb stuffing. A little touch of cayenne pepper for, just a little bit. And a little bit of this old-fashioned turkey seasoning. I've used this ever since I was a little girl. Stir it all up. It's going to be delicious. And to bind it, add, 2 or 3 eggs, just lightly beaten. Just make sure you get it really well mixed. My mouth is watering. Give it a little taste. Perfect. Let's get the bird. Here's our turkey. Big, plump, 24-pounder. It's been thawing in the refrigerator for 3 days. That ensures a nice, even temperature, and the bird will roast very evenly and nicely. We're going to try something different with this turkey. I'm going to loosen the skin with my fingertips. If you have long nails, I think you better trim them. And very, very carefully loosen the skin from the flesh of the bird. Do it from the body cavity end, like this. Oh, that looks good. And also from the neck end, like this. It might be a little bit difficult at this portion, but here, it's working. Just like that. And then a trick that I learned from a Cuban friend. She pours a little bit of cognac under the skin. Gives a very nice flavor. Just like that. Take a spoon and just spoon the cognac underneath the skin. Rub it right in there. Smells very, very good. And then for our design, this will just be so beautiful. Take sage leaves, just like that. They can grow in your garden all winter long, or you can get them at a very good greengrocer. And insert the leaves under the skin in a design of your own choice. I like to put a lot of leaves in here so that it looks like a mosaic.